Oh, here we go! For a ride. Oh! Yeah! Here we go! Welcome in, race fans. Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. My home for the next 6 days. We are live, or want to be live. We are here at the 47th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend. We are taping some of the show as the races are going to start get going here. This segment here with Billy Niles, my cohort and partner in crime on the radio show. We taped this segment on Wednesday. We're going to talk to some of the drivers locally, some of the drivers coming in, and then, of course, we're going to have more for you as the weekend progresses. Also want to remind you, the radio show from noon to 1 on Saturday on WBOG will be live streamed on KQEGTV.com also
that's
from noon to 1. Welcome to
Fest.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've never done a live stream before, so that's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, you can hear practice taking place on the opposite side of the camera right now. This is kind of a different setup this year, as this is the first time ever having practice on a Wednesday.
Well, the last few years they've tried to cram 17 divisions worth of practice into 4 hours, and it just hasn't worked out well. So they tried to, they tried something different this year. They open practice up at noon, turn them loose, put them on a set schedule like they do every other day on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I've sat and watched it for a little while here today. Seems to be working out really well. Everybody's getting their shots at the track.
Of course, Camper Village was loaded come Monday afternoon at noon. It was a spree to find yourself either a paid site that are reserved or one of the free sites. And I tell you what was interesting is I was out here a couple of nights ago to get my camper all set, and all the free sites had already been blocked off. And I mean, this thing just keeps getting bigger and better every single year.
Yeah, I talked to some friends of ours. Hopefully we'll have them as a guest either, this week or next week on the show. And they said, they knew the site they wanted, and they watch people just literally sprint with their vehicles and their campers, hopping curbs and stuff, just to go get a spot close towards, down here towards the track. So he said it was a pretty impressive sight. It looked like a mad 100-yard dash.
Got to thank Bubnick RV of Toma. This is the new media center this year. You're going to see all the TV stuff going on right there. They sell fun, BubnickRV.com. Of course, that's where we're going to be doing the radio show as well this week. Some heavy hitters are coming to Fest this year. I'm not talking just the sportsmen, because I think we're going to have one of the largest sportsmen's classes I've ever seen in the 10 years I've been here, both Thursday, Friday. But look at some of the big super late model names. Everybody can't wait to see what Bubba Pollard's going to bring.
Yep, Bubba Pollard just won the All-American 400 down in Tennessee last week, and caught him on camera, just staring at the camera. See you at Fest. So you knew he was coming. Brian Campbell out of Michigan is throwing his head in the ring, one of the top drivers in the Midwest, so it's looking forward to him. Young Chris Trickle, going to try and bring the Trickle name back to prominence here in the Midwest. He's going to be showing up and racing all weekend, so it's going to be a stacked field all weekend.
Straight from the Craftsman Truck Series, what a year he's had out of Sun Prairie and Janesville. Travis Quapple's going to be up here this year.
Travis hasn't been here in, 16 years, I think.
That's right, 16.
16 years. Looking forward to seeing Trav again. He's got some good campsite stories if we ever get a chance to dig one of them out of him. Also, as usual, I think Johnny Sauter is going to come back up, try and put his name in the record books.
Johnny and Travis both practiced out here on a Wednesday 2 weeks ago.
Yep, so it's one of the most stacked fields we've ever seen here, and the biggest field in a long time. You talked about the sportsman field, looking to have probably a record number of cars here, if not Thursday night, definitely Friday night for the Great Northern Sportsman Series. The Big 8 Series on Saturday has just seen growth beyond belief. I mean, they were close to, 60 cars last year. They expect that many this year.
Watch for a lot of lacrosse guys that are going to attempt to run the Big 8 late model series this year.
And don't be surprised to see a few of them try and run lacrosse also. So going to be a great weekend.
Again, the weather's turned perfectly here at the Crosse Speedway. It's supposed to be nice all weekend. They're calling for maybe some rain Thursday, but this is Wisconsin. This is Oktoberfest. We're not going to let that happen. I really hope it doesn't, because the past 2 years, our lacrosse drivers who have raced here on Saturday nights have pretty much gotten a shaft because of Mother Nature.
Yeah, I go back and I look at the last few years, like 2012, it was cold as heck and we raced anyway. 2013, we had rain all day. We had just a big enough window to get the main events in. 2014 got completely washed out. Last year, we had just enough window to get the main events in again before it rained. So it'd be nice to have one good Thursday for the first time in a long time.
I noticed that the schedule has already been set. They've already got everything on there. Oktoberfestraceweekend.com. You can find that in the entire weekend. You can follow along with what's going on. A lot of different folks. Kevin Ramsell, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago, check out kevinramsell.com. He's going to be doing a lot of blogging. He'll be working with Speed 51 as well. If you can't make it out for some odd reason, if you're watching the show online in Florida like Royce Kenseth does, I know Roy's already said he's going to be following our updates through radio and TV. Social media, I think, is going to be a big part of this as well this year for people that may be coming Saturday, Sunday. They'll still know what's going on Thursday, Friday.
It's social media, I think, is one of the best things to happen to racing, and in some cases, some of the worst things. The best part about it is weekends like this, you got Kevin Ramsell doing his stuff for Speed 51 and for locally. Dave Nelke doing all the tweeting and updating on Facebook, wherever you can find it, whatever the other ones are. I do Facebook and Twitter. I don't know what the rest of them are. But it's just amazing what, social media can do to bring this stuff to the people and let them know what's going on. And they might say, hey, I should probably go out there. This looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be fantastic out here. The schedule, again, has been set. If you look at what's going on Thursday, a lot of our Crosse Speedway drivers have already got their champions pretty much locked in place. Hornet Championship still on the line. We're going to find out who that champ's going to be. And then the Chase Champion. I think we already know who that's going to be, the late models. If you look at the Sportsman, though, that's going to be a different story. Steve Bachman looking for number 2.
Yeah, Bachman, this year he actually got to race all year. Didn't quite get the championship he was looking for, but he is gunning for that Chase Championship. I believe he won it last year, so he's looking to make it 2 in a row.
And one of the guys that's going to be on the show here next, I thought would have been in the Chase Championship, and we're going to talk to him about that when he comes on. He just had a freak thing happen and couldn't make it for the rest of the chase, but he was one that I thought was going to be here the entire time, and we're going to be talking with him, hopefully getting a couple of other Sportsman drivers and some X-Figure 8 drivers on the program for this week's program.
Yeah, we got to pry them out of their establishment that they're in right now, but they are on their way.
I'll let you do that while I corral Bad Brad. You're watching a great coverage, the only local coverage you're going to find this extensive at the annual 47th Oktoberfest Race Weekend, and that's going to be on KQEG-TV and KQEG-TV.com. We'll be back with Bad Brad Warthan. What a year he's had. Let's see what he's got in line for Fest. He's got a secret he's going to bring out this week as well. That's next on 7 Rivers Racing.
Whatever your perfect temperature, you'll enjoy consistent comfort with the heating and air conditioning systems homeowners rank #1. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists, providing Coulee Region families with perfect indoor weather all year long. Call for your free estimate today. The next time you visit the west coast of Wisconsin, there's a hotel in La Crosse you need to check into. Here's General Manager Roxanne North.
We want to treat every guest with the best that we have to offer, and that starts with the front desk all the way through the housekeeping department. My general philosophy in life is I treat my staff the way I want to be treated, and I pass that on that we treat our guests that way.
For reservations, visit the website, settlein.com.
People come here, we want them to feel like family.
Have you tried the great lunch buffet at Pizza Hut? Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1:30, Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona offers you an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet for just $5.99. All the salad, pasta, breadsticks, and of course, delicious piping hot pizza you can eat. How about dinner? Try the Triple Treat Box from Pizza Hut. 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas, an order of breadsticks, and a Hershey's chocolate chip cookie, just $19.99. Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona. Call for delivery or order online. Pizza Hut.
Short track racing is alive and well in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Hi, this is Dan Dyker, The Voice. Join me and Billy Doc Niles each week at noon on Google 1460 for Wisconsin's most comprehensive racing report. We'll talk with local and national drivers and bring you up to date on what's going on in western Wisconsin's finest short tracks. If you love racing, you'll love our show. The Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report, Saturdays at noon on Google 1460 WBOG. Welcome back, 7 Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, along with my partner in crime on the radio side, Billy Doc Niles. I'm a radio man Dan Dyker at the 47th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend. Wednesday practice continues, and our next guest has had a phenomenal season, and that would be Sparta's Brad Warthan. The car looked good this year at the Fan Appreciation, but I'll tell you what you did on the track surprised a whole lot of people.
Yeah, we had a pretty good car this year, Dan, and I got to give a lot of credit to Jeff Burrows for taking care of my engine, and Derek Squires from DSR Chassis, because if you don't own one, you follow one.
And of course, start of the year, you wanted to get the you wanted the championship right off the bat. I mean, everybody does. Nick Clements just kind of ran out in front, like everybody kind of figured he was going to. But you didn't let the dust settle. Tell our listeners or our viewers that may not have followed what you did this year, not just one feature win and just not one quick time qualification.
No, we actually had 3 feature wins this year, and one of them come on a night that we turned quick time, and I believe that was the first night that I had ever turned fast time in the sportsman division. We got 2 of them this year. The second time I got my fast time, I actually got engaged with the help of Dan Dyker over here.
That was outstanding, by the way.
So we had a pretty good season, though. I mean, I felt really good with the car. As far as making it look good, I spent hours that week.
I know.
Right before that.
You were teasing me again.
Oh, yeah, I always do, Dan.
Billy Knock, we talked about on the radio show when we were talking about the chase format coming about for the second year this year. Brad was one of those guys that we figured would be in this chase at the end of the year.
At the beginning of the year when we talked about it, he was definitely one of the guys that we pegged to be in there just because of the gradual success you've had. And it showed this year, the time with the car, the patience, it showed. You're vastly improved. You're definitely a contender.
Yeah, definitely, and we had just the $20 part that pretty much ruined our chance at that chase championship. We had a head gasket go out and practice that night. And granted, Dan invited me up, so I got to do a little bit of the announcing on the tower up there, so I got to feel what it was like being on Dan's side. But, yeah, I mean, we got a stout car. We should have a good car for Oktoberfest. We used our head a lot this year, and that definitely helped. Granted, towards the end of the season, I do want to take time as long as I'm on TV here and apologize to Sam Niles. I definitely wasn't using my head the night that we got together, and I know it takes a big man to apologize, especially on TV here, but I do apologize, and I should have used my head because that cost me quite a bit of money too.
All right, now that takes a big man. Congratulations to you for doing that. You've also had the chance working at Crosse Speedway to see the official side of how things go. Now that you've seen both sides, do you have a greater appreciation for their job?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Chuck and I talked here about 3 months back, and I told him, I said, after I got pulled up into the tower up there at Toma this year, the respect that I have gained for the officials at any racetrack in general is just unreal. Being on the other side, I have now gotten and received what most drivers give people like Jeff Garbers and Chuck Deery and guys like that. So, I mean, it was definitely a learning curve this year.
Brad Warthan here at the 47th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend. Man, you got a busy weekend coming up. We know what you're doing Thursday, Friday, sporty then sporty, but you got another race in mind this year.
Yeah, we just kind of out of the blue decided that we were going to take our sportsman car this year and run with a Mid-American Series on Saturday night, so we'll see how that goes. This will be our first year attempting to run 3 nights in a row, so it might be pretty busy.
So when you talk about setups now, and Bill does a great job on the radio show helping me along with setups, how much different is a mid-am compared to what you have right now?
Well, I'd actually talked to Ron Blood. He's the tech man from the Mid-American Series, and he told me as long as I switched over to their tires and their carburetor that he'd allow me to run. So we're going from a 2-barrel 4412 over to a Holley 750 4-barrel. And I want to say it's the F75 tires in the Mid-America Series. So it'll definitely be different being on just a flat skin and just a slick in general.
And I understand you're not going to be the only lacrosse guy. I mean, I've heard about 2 or 3 that are also thinking about jumping into the mid-ams. I mean, this could be a heck of a race.
Yeah, definitely. If I remember right, I want to say I heard through the grapevine that Nick Clements is possibly running. Yep. Possibility of Steve Bachman. I know myself, and maybe we'll see how many soda pops we have out in the campground tonight, but maybe I could see if I could talk Dave Truitt into running too.
No, Dave's bringing 2 big bad cars up here this weekend too. He's got a brand new one. I heard last night somebody unveiled that to me that we're going to see him in 1 and 2 different cars here this weekend.
I've seen it out at practice. It's pretty slick looking.
You know, Brad Warthan, you were one of the very first guests on my show 6 years ago. You've always been a great competitor on the track. You've done a great job on the TV here, and you've also done a great job because I've heard from your sponsors that have watched you on TV when you thank your sponsors. Do it again for us.
Yeah, definitely. I can't thank enough Carlisle Farms. They're on the hood this year. I got to thank Jocelyn and her family. I got to thank Jeff Burrows from Burrows Racing Engines, Jeff Meyer from Innovative Movers. I also got to thank my mom. She gives up her garage 95% of the year for me to be able to run my car out of. And I can't thank enough Kevin Tobert. He's helped me out with a bunch of tires this year from Tobert Trucking. And last but not least, I can't thank enough my chassis man, Derek Squires from DSR Chassis, because after running as many years as I have, if you don't own one, you follow one.
One more question. Brad Warthan grew up watching his father, Billy, run all over the state of Wisconsin, ran his share of fests. What does Oktoberfest Race Weekend personally mean to you?
You know, Oktoberfest to me means family. We all come home. We all come to a great big group. I want to say this is probably the biggest event that I have ever been to in the Midwest. And like I said, Dan, it's all about family and having fun here at Oktoberfest because that's just best.
It is. I mean, this is my family down here. Billy Niles, this is your family down here as well.
Yeah, that's the racing family is the best in the world. One more question I got for you. Are you done this weekend or are you making one more trip?
We're making 2 more trips.
2 more trips.
I know Bahamas probably one of them down at Rockford.
What else you got going on?
We're planning on running the Halloween special down at Dells Raceway Park.
At the Dells, yeah.
Yeah, so we got 2 more runs besides this, and we'll see where that leads us. Hopefully we can get a W.
I'm not announcing that race at the Dells. Can I be your tire guy or do something where I can get my hands as dirty? Sure, look at that. That guy's been working down in the pits. I want my hands like that at least once this year.
Yeah, we were changing a couple things on the car. Right as soon as you had actually contacted me, I got off the track and come right up here. Changed my shirt so I made sure I looked like a superstar.
Rick Wilson, Rick, he's doing it on the camera. We always talk about Brad's shirts. Are you impressed, Rick? He gives you the thumbs up.
Got the thumbs
Brad
up.
Warthan,
Nice.
we're going to let him get back. A lot of practicing going on. He's going to be running Thursday night, Friday night. Mid-Am's coming up this weekend. Best of luck to you, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. And before I forget, I can't thank enough my pit crew this year, my fiance, Dana Geyer, because without here, there's no way that it'd been possible to win as many features as what we did this year. The note-taking that she does is amazing.
See,
that's because you can read her writing and not yours.
Yeah, her hands are normally cleaner, too, so the paper stays better.
You know, he just ruined it for me. He just ruined the whole segment for me. He didn't mention Dana earlier, and as soon as Rick cut that camera off, I was going to go on Facebook and let her know that he didn't thank her. Nice save, Bradley. Nice save.
I don't ever forget her because I did the 1 year, and I'll never forget that again.
Brad Warthan got engaged on this same racetrack. Now he's going to try to come up with some trophies, maybe a couple of faster than speeding bullets here at Oktoberfest. Brad, we thank you for joining us in the program. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, more from the 47th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend is next on KQEG TV. Short track racing is alive and well in Wisconsin and Minnesota. Hi, this is Dan Dyker, The Voice. Join me and Billy Niles each week at noon on Google 1460 for Wisconsin's most comprehensive racing report. We'll talk with local and national drivers and bring you up to date on what's going on in western Wisconsin's finest short tracks. If you love racing, you'll love our show. The Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report, Saturdays at noon on Google 1460 WBOG.
Have you tried the great lunch buffet at Pizza Hut? Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1:30, Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona offers you an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet for just $5.99. All the salad, pasta, breadsticks, and of course, delicious piping hot pizza you can eat. How about dinner? Try the Triple Treat Box from Pizza Hut. 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas, an order of breadsticks, and a Hershey's chocolate chip cookie, just $19.99. Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona. Call for delivery or order online. Pizza Hut. The next time you visit the west coast of Wisconsin, there's a hotel in La Crosse you need to check into. Here's General Manager Roxanne North.
We want to treat every guest with the best that we have to offer, and that starts with the front desk all the way through the housekeeping department. My general philosophy in life is I treat my staff the way I want to be treated, and I pass that on that we treat our guests that way.
For reservations, visit the website, settlein.com.
People come here, we want them to feel like family.
Whatever your perfect temperature, you'll enjoy consistent comfort with the heating and air conditioning systems homeowners rank #1. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists, providing Coulee Region families with perfect indoor weather all year long. Call for your free estimate today.
Welcome back, Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV, 47th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend. Of course, we taped the show. It's a little bit quieter now, as you've been hearing in the background. A lot of practicing going on as we taped on a Wednesday. Something you don't usually hear on a Wednesday is practicing. The promoter, general manager, Chuck Deery with Motorsports Management, joining us on the program here. And Chuck, welcome to 47 years of Oktoberfest.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, and welcome to the 47th Annual Oktoberfest.
Bigger and better this year, and some of the guests we've had on could not believe. We're going to take you all the way back to Monday. Some had never seen that line of campers to get in here, and I tell you, that is just one of the abnormalities that keeps growing.
Well, it's a big event. It's a fun event. It's if you like racing, you're going to really love this event, and you know, the word of mouth and the tradition of the event as well is all part of it. And again, I always say it, and it's true. We're very blessed to be able to host this event every year, and I'm thankful that just to be able part of it.
Speaking of the word getting out, a lot of big names that haven't either raced here before or haven't raced here for a long time coming in. That's got to make you feel good that people are taking notice of our event here.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's nice to see that the bigger teams come in from other areas of the country, and they're usually a little bit nervous about coming here because there's some pretty stout racing in this neck of the woods. So kudos for them for having the courage to attempt to go up against our Midwestern boys. So, but nonetheless, it should be a good racing, and always fun to see new faces and new stars compete at Oktoberfest.
You know, every time I get Chuck on for an event like this, we always talk about the racing, but I also like to exemplify the things that don't happen on the racetrack. There's so much activity that goes on in the campground areas with pet costumes and pumpkin colorings and camper challenges. I mean, there's a lot that happens out here that doesn't happen on the track.
Yeah, it's an event. It just you know, racing is certainly the core of it, and we have all the campers and stuff here. And you know, life is tough, life is hard, but for 4 days, Oktoberfest is fun.
You
So
know what?
that's part of it.
One thing I've always been impressed with, and it's something I want you to expound upon. When you first took over, and I think it was '87, it was a 3-day event, and it was just racing and some drinking afterwards, and and camping sporadically. And now you've turned it into this huge, 5-day, week-long event. Talk about how this is growing from when you first started.
Well, it was a 2-day event when we first got going and stuff, and then with I've had good mentors behind me with John McCarnes and Jody Deery, who had a bit better and bigger vision for this event, and they kind of laid out a roadmap in which way we need to go, and I essentially just drove the bus down the road, and there were a few bumps along the way, but that's how it is, and that's how these events are, and it just turned out to be something good. You know, we are blessed to be in this neck of the country where it's beautiful, and it's a nice drive, and folks get up here and stuff. So we're glad to be up here and be part of it, and so it's a good event.
You know, a lot of attention is brought to Chuck when it comes to Oktoberfest. Of course, you general manage this track 6 months out of the year. When I had you on the radio show here a couple of weeks ago, you had said something I thought was interesting. Is you said we are fortunate to be able to host an event like this because beyond Thursday lacrosse local races, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, our local drivers really kind of take a backseat to out-of-state and out-of-area drivers. So you like the luxury of being able to have a place to do this.
Well, I don't, the backseat's a bad way to put it. I think it's nice to see our competitors, our weekly competitors, up against weekly competitors from tracks throughout the Midwest. And, they all converge here for the 4 days of fest, and, not specifically from the, Thursdays mostly a local flavor, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as I mentioned, some more of a regional, and the tours come in. So it's just neat to see how our guys stack up against their guys. It's fun to watch. And if you're a race fan, you're really going to like this kind of stuff.
We were talking about this earlier in the segment about expanding the practice day. And I always thought, the 3.5, 4 hours we had was short. Is that the reason you expanded it to an all-day event on Wednesday?
Well, it's supply and demand. With a number of teams that compete, that want to get out and get the cars tuned in for the next 4 days, has grown, and so it's just a supply and demand. We're going to do a 2-hour practice. what's the difference between a 3-hour or 4-hour? We still want to keep it confined, from 3 to 7:30, and that's enough practice. And they got it all day tomorrow and some Saturday, so that's enough. And but it's just supply and demand that the teams that are new or scuffing tires, the gig, trying something different. We got to give them an opportunity to do that.
When you get an event like this, you said you went from 2 days, now it's 4 days. We know the excitement of the racetrack. We know how it's grown here in the back in the campgrounds. Is there ever any room for growth, the things that you would maybe like to try to add down the road, or are you pretty comfortable with how things work right now, both on the track and the campgrounds in the exhibition hall?
Well, we're always going to try something different, something new. As the racetrack and racing goes, some divisions will fade away and some divisions will come back in. I should probably go look and see the number of different divisions that have raced at this event. So as time progresses, we'll bring in a different style of car or race what we have in a different style of race from the racing side of it. On the camping side, the caveman camped, and they haven't changed it since then, so I think we're okay with that.
Well, Chuck Deery is very fortunate to be able to pull him aside here. He and Greg McCarnes, two of the busiest working guys out here for the next 4 days. Don't call his number. You might hear the voice message maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday, because there's so much going on out here. We do greatly appreciate you stopping by. And not only being an employee here, I send kudos as a race fan myself for being able to be a part of the 47th Annual Fest.
Well, it's a team effort, hands down. There's about 100 people that work for this event every day, and if not more. And it's a team event, it's a community event, and there's so many people that are involved with it. I could never say thank you enough to all that participate or help, or the radio station and television stations that contribute as well. So, my thank yous go out to them. And I always say it, we are blessed, and I am blessed just to be part of this. And I always look forward to Monday.
He looks well rested right now. Wait till what he sees on Monday morning. That's going to do it from the 47th Annual Oktoberfest Race Weekend. Remember, live qualifying on KQEG TV is going to happen. We're also going to stream the radio show from the Bubnick RV Media Center this year as well. Chuck Deery, Billy Doc Niles, we appreciate you joining us. Come out, support your local racetracks, especially this weekend here at the Crosse Speedway. I'm Dan Dyker. This has been 7 Rivers Racing.